We are live. Well, welcome everybody. This is Toni Weel and Sarah from Virtuous Unicorns with
Hello.
our weekly Q&A, health Q&A, and working hard on answering your questions, if any. If no questions, we always figure out something to talk about.
We'll just chat away.
We just chat away. Yeah, true. My gosh, I don't see. We're here pretty much alone. I hope.
I see Michelle.
Yeah.
1776 Michelle's on.
Okay, yeah. It's okay. It is recorded anyway, so we always have something to talk about. So you want to talk about your poison ivy story?
Well, I don't have it. So I was just telling Toni that I was over in the horse field and we're doing our first mow of the season. So I was over there picking up all the limbs that have fallen and putting them to the side. And I picked up one and I wasn't really paying attention and I tossed it off to the side. And when I looked again, it had poison ivy all over it. And right after I tossed it, I like wiped my nose and my face area around my mouth. And I'm like, oh no, why did I do that? And of course I have no gloves on either. And so I hurry up and I just like came home and I just ran and jumped in the shower and just washed, which I know most of the time, soap's not going to take poison ivy off in the first place, but I was like, well, if this is the one time I'm going to rub soap all over my face, it's right now. So I did what I thought.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I had a question in one of the defense group of Dr. Morse on Facebook. And it was, what do you do when you touch poison ivy? Now, what I learned is when I first came to the United States is that there is always an herb growing right where the poison ivy grows that will diminish the effects or the results, whatever you want to call it, of the poison ivy. Mm-hmm. But with everything that we learned about how things work in nature, could it also be that if we do nothing at all, but just fast and let our body take care of it, that it would work?
Mm-hmm. I believe
because, so. We so easily get all these products to put on our skin. Well, I don't think that's even necessary. It's like when you have, somebody had a question about a burn, what would you put on it if you don't want to put that Neosporin on, which actually does dull the pain and you feel it heals really fast. But then it closes something up that maybe should not be closed up. So the question was then, should we put aloe vera on it? Yeah, that can be done. You cut open an aloe vera leaf and you get out the gel and put that on. But still, is that the way to go? And I learned that when you just do nothing and you fast for 1 or 2 days, then it will heal and you give your body a chance to heal. I come now into learning that we don't need all that stuff. So what do you think?
Well, I do agree with that 100%. And it just goes to show how we are brainwashed, even with, the stuff that I read and everything too, just in that moment of, oh my gosh, I just got this all over my face. What do I do? And with not, I don't know, like in a sheer panic, you just kind of do what you're going to do. I guess that's where training kind of comes in play. And that's why like EMTs and firemen and firewomen, go and they practice all the time. So that way, when something does come up, you're prepared and whatnot. So I don't want to practice too much with poison ivy, but
no,
maybe have my kit a little better ready or something. And of course, having your body better prepared too.
Yeah, I think that it would be a good idea to try that out. If something happens on your skin, you have a burn. My solution to a burn is always cold water.
Mm-hmm.
you know, keep it cold. And then and it hurts like hell at first, but then very soon it's like, my God, it's gone. I don't even have any results to have from it.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Morse once has an example. I don't know if you ever seen that video where he had this comparison of two kids who were injured in a fire, badly injured. And one kid that was literally done nothing, but she was on 100% fruit. The other child, they did all the whatever they put on it, all the salts and the lotions, and that child had a lot of scars, and the other child healed completely, barely see any scars. And I have a tiny example, like cutting my finger. I work a lot with, when I use citrus, it's all
Mm-hmm.
over my hands always. So you feel it. And then this morning I was like, my God, I have a cut. And now I'm done with I just choose 2 liters of citrus. The cut is gone.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
So
Yep.
it is, yeah, we need to think about that,
Mm-hmm.
that we may not need all these lotions and potions and just try
Soaps.
it out.
Yep, for sure. I mean, so far so good. So we'll see what really happens. And we'll go with it. I don't feel anything at this point, but we'll
Like I
see.
said, don't expect it.
Nope, I'm not. It'll be a suppressant. Okay.
Oh, granted,
uh,
you just mentioned calamine lotion. I don't even know what calamine is,
I
but
don't either know what's in it.
no, it is like, no, actually, when it comes to it, nothing that you put on your skin is good. We don't really need it. But in the heat of the moment, when you have a cut or a burn, you want to put something on it. I can tell you, if I have a deep cut in my finger, that Band-Aid absolutely feels better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the pressure and everything of it too, maybe.
Yeah, and I have used something in the past when my husband had he had a motorcycle accident, and I think we spoke about that before.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all this road rash in his elbow, his arm, his knees. It was really bad. Doctor couldn't even get it out, not even with a tweezer. It's a tiny stuff. It's really horrendous. And we put that calendula on it, and that pulled it all out. So, but then the question arises, and what would have happened if you had done nothing at all? Let the body push it out. But yeah, so I can see that there are instances where you would say, yeah, well, I need something. And, but that worked, and it healed beautifully. All the road rash came out, and there's no, you cannot see anything. I
Yeah.
forgot the word, what you, and it's the same after surgery.
Yeah.
And put calendula on it. And here, when I came first to the US, it was aloe vera. Everybody was talking about it, and I had never heard of it. I was like, my trusted calendula always went wherever I went.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, I don't even use it. I haven't even used it anymore.
Yep.
And there is something else. When you are on high fruit, your body just heals faster.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, we really have to get to a point that we trust that our body can heal everything.
Mm-hmm. And I think everybody's also used to that quick fix, that quick turnaround, that quick remedy too, where we're just in the society of let's pop a pill and your headache's gone, instead of really dealing with the solution or the reason behind why you have a headache in the first place. That kind of issue.
Yeah.
I was listening to a Dr. Morse this morning. He was talking, I feel like it was recorded not too long ago, but he's talking about breast cancer and how like the tumor could eventually come out through the breast. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. I don't have it in front of me, but he was talking about, I guess, when he was working, he was using, or he was on a telephone pole and maybe he slid down it or something. But anyway, he had a bunch of splinters, like with creosote splinters in his hand. And I was right to that point where he was talking that either he put something on it or his body just like started getting the splinters out on its own. But yeah, he had a bunch of splinters that had creosote in them too. And of course, that's definitely not good to get in your skin, in your body.
But are we at a point where we have fear that something may happen, and or that we trust our body that it will come out as soon, ASAP, and not worry about it? Would that make a difference?
Yeah. I think
We,
we're at a limbo state where we're wanting to trust, but we're still nervous
yeah,
because it's like
yeah,
a new frontier for most of us.
yeah, it is, and trusting your body while it is not too healthy is another thing. And we probably heal from everything faster when our bodies are detox and much healthier than they are today.
Yep, that's very true. I saw JC Razel said that her husband had poison ivy 5 times since they've bought their farm. That's terrible.
Do they have poison ivy in Florida?
Uh, I don't know. I really, now that I think about it, I'm not sure. Well, we have poison oak, poison sumac.
I think I have been very lucky because I used to go to every year because I rode a motorcycle. So I went to the Sturgis Rally and Races in August every year. And it's so beautiful there. So I was hiking there a lot and, walking along the creeks. And I was told about poison ivy, but I wouldn't even be able to recognize it. But nothing ever happened. And when I never wear shorts, I always had jeans and boots on, so that was helping. But yeah, sometimes you had to hold on, to trees or whatever. And I don't think I've ever seen poison ivy even.
Well, I mean, you probably wouldn't even notice it if you really saw it anyway, unless you're really looking for it. But that little rhyme is leaves of 3, let it be. So if you see anything with 3 leaves, just be cautious.
Yeah, I saw that coming by a few days ago with a talk about poison ivy. But maybe because I didn't even know how to recognize it, I wouldn't know what it was, and then I wouldn't be worried either, and not even notice it. But it's interesting how all of that worked, how the mind can make things better or make things worse.
Yeah, that's very true. She did say they used the Dr. Morse burn salve, and so I assume that worked pretty well.
Say that again. I didn't hear that.
JC Razel said when her husband did get the poison ivy, they used the Dr. Morse burn salve.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what I do have it somewhere here. There is now a different salve because it's now called the ultimate salve, and it has golden seal root, burdock leaf, aloe vera, cat's claw, astragalus, golden seed, chickweed, horsetail, slippery elm, burdock root, in a base of organic olive oil, grapeseed oil, and coconut oil, and organic hemp seed oil even.
Wow. Nice.
So that is the ultimate one.
Okay.
But I still have that in the back of my head. It's like maybe not putting anything on at all and see how it goes. But I have seen pictures of people that were that had or touched the poison ivy and how they had it in their face and all bloated, and yeah, so I can see where you want to do something.
Yeah, that was my fear. I was like, oh great, it's in my mouth. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? I know that they're talking about the calamine lotion in the chat. So when you do get poison ivy, which I've technically, I believe I've never had it actually. My mom will get it occasionally. She had some on her arm last year, which I'll tell you what she did with that. But the calamine, so when you do get it, poison ivy and poison oak can become, your blisters can become weepy. And again, is that something that needs to really come out? But the calamine lotion would always kind of like help dry it out. And so it would almost pull it out and then dry it up is what it would do. I know calamine lotion's been around for a very long time, but I would be interested to maybe next time I'm at the store really read and see what's in it. I guess I could look it up that way too, but
I can tell you right now.
Okay.
The main active ingredients of calamine lotion are zinc oxide and ferric oxide, where concentration of ferric oxide is only about 5%. Apart of these two ingredients, there are a few more ingredients like liquid paraffin, glyceryl monostearate, cetomacrogol, and phenoxetanol.
A lot of big words.
But they are present in very less amounts.
Mm-hmm.
The lotion appears to be pink in color and have a creamy texture. Though
What if those are
yeah.
preservatives, like to keep it?
Yeah, I'm always like, if you don't want to put it in your mouth, don't put it on your skin. But heck.
Yep, I know.
It is actually interesting because you hear a lot of times about whatever nature offers you, it is for us to use. It's always good. And then I'm thinking about all these poison plants and that you do not want to eat or touch. And still they have a function.
Mm-hmm. They do. Well, last year my mom got poison ivy on her arms. What she did was she covered it so that way it would not, like, she used almost like a sock, I guess it was cut, and then she like pulled it up over her arms just also to keep it out of the sun because we were still working out in the field. But there was like this purple berry kind of flower, and it was kind of gross when you got it on your hands, but she rubbed it on it because that's what she read to do, and it did go away. It didn't go away instantly, but it healed up, we felt, quicker than if she would have done nothing with it. And during that time, that is when we were on full orange juice, and we had been on full orange juice during that time too over the summer. So I don't know if that all played a good combination together.
I would think so.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, I see, Jacob, you mentioned narrow plantain. That is what they say that's a kind of weed that pretty much grows everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of stuff growing in my yard here, but I haven't seen the plantain. But I do remember in Holland or the Netherlands, I saw it quite often, actually.
Great. I definitely do not want to catch poison ivy in the private area. He said try catch it in your private area.
How the heck would you even do that?
Well, I mean, it can grow awfully high. Oh my goodness, that's great.
Yeah.
It looks like JV is juicing some oranges right now, or peeling some oranges. I think he's with I lost the comment. Oh, I'm
saw that.
Pronouncing names. Geeta.
I was the JV, and her name is Greta. Yeah, Greta is with JV.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Welcome. Oh, that's funny. Oh my God.
Okay, next topic is yours.
Yep, there we go. Sorry, I got caught up in the comments there. Yeah, we got wonderful people in here. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing. And then the other thing, which also reminded me too, when I was listening to Dr. Morse, he talked about if your sweat burns. And I can remember that I would always feel like my sweat would burn my face every time it got on my face, especially like my cheeks. It would just feel like it was eating the skin off of my cheeks. And in his podcast or show, he said, if your sweat burns, you're in trouble. You're highly acidic. So now I'm like thinking I need to go run around outside and get all nice and sweaty, see if it burns again.
Yeah, well, you actually could have the same with your tears.
Yeah.
I have had times that my tears, that they were burning my skin.
Mm-hmm. Well, I unfortunately cried a lot over these last few months, and they did not burn. So
you're getting healthier.
Yes. Unless I'm just detoxing it out through tears now. But yeah. So that's good to know. So if it is still burning though, in somebody else's acidic, because I was talking to somebody too that they're no longer wearing deodorant anymore, but they're seeming to get more rash in their armpit from the sweat. I don't know if that's still like maybe some of the deodorant chemicals that are coming out of their armpits or not, or if their sweat is actually really burning their skin. Uh,
That could be it, because it's
mhm.
still acidity coming out.
Yep. I told them because then, and I might be wrong in thinking this too, but should they not? I feel like I'm already totally wrong before I say it. I was thinking that maybe they shouldn't go on to orange juice, but I know orange juice does turn alkaline once it gets into your body. But I was just more referring them to grapes and like melon, of
Yeah,
course,
what
separated.
true. Watermelon is great. The thing with orange juice, it's also very pulling, just like grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot of calcium in it, so that is why it's always my favorite.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So it's orange juice, watermelon, and apple juice.
Yeah.
Those are my three go-tos. I'm not a fan of grape juice. It's just however many lemons I put in there, it's still too sweet.
Too sweet or too tart or just sweet?
It's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been one for really sweet. Like sweet oranges. That's delicious, and sweet pineapple.
Yeah.
It's a different sweet, I think.
Oh, I can't wait to have a sweet pineapple. Someone we know is going to be going to Hawaii, and I told him to make sure to try to find a real pineapple and eat it and tell me what it's like. And he's like, "Well, when I go to Hawaii, I don't think pineapple is going to be like my number one thing." I was like, "Well, please make it for me." So she's going to
Yeah.
look.
I do wanna. You already know about my plans for another social platform to build,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like actually ask the people who are on this chat right now to have a social platform that is related to health, to living, to whatever, gardening, planting. What are the topics that you would like to see there? We already have the domain name. It's going to be gardenofeden.social. And I'm just figuring out what topic should be there. And you will, on the platform, people will be able to interact, to set up local communities, to see where members live approximately. You don't have to put your whole address in. And that way connect with each other. And it will have groups where, you can talk about topics. But I'm interested in what kind of topics do you find important on a platform like that? I mean, I can think of I cannot think of anything right now.
Well,
Yeah, I
definitely
think
like health.
like having a mom's corner, before getting pregnant, during pregnancy, what do you eat, and whatnot, how to have a healthy baby. Then for kids, what can they eat? What kind of the candies that we can make, the well, kind of recipes that we can exchange, about sustainable living. But I would love to hear more topics, so we can have an all-around platform about everything that concerns us. It's like life is changing with now. You hear about baby food not being available. Well, whatever is available is junk anyway, that you don't really want to give your baby, but it is a concern for many mothers. And I would love to come with better solutions. I heard this morning, or actually yesterday, what the real reason was, that there was no baby food available. And that was that the plant who delivers the baby food, most of the baby food, I forgot the name. They had a bacteria, and there were two babies died because of it, and the FDA closed them down.
Oh,
And
no.
now it is more in the hands of a few people we shall not name, who are now in control over developing new baby foods. So, you know, if we can have a platform where we can exchange all the things that we experience and that are good for our kids in how to guide mothers along, and maybe oh, what is it? It's not midwives that are on the path of natural birth.
Yeah, I believe it's midwives. You
Oh,
can.
it is midwife.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was another name that I remember. But it's yeah, come up with ideas, and we're gonna build an amazing platform. I already have the logo, which I'm very happy with, and it's going to be really exciting.
That is wonderful, and I
Yeah,
would
Grant.
definitely look forward to a pet area.
Oh my gosh, yes, of course, a whole pet area. And there are so many questions about what do we feed our pets. And now dogs are a lot easier than cats because do we know cats are such finicky eaters. It's unbelievable. But I have a cat rescue in sanctuary, and I see cats, you know, literally dying from the canned food that they've gotten. You know, they come in already in a really bad health, and it's not easy to get them out of there. And yes, absolutely. There is one video I posted not too long ago about feeding pets, and of course, there's always Nora Lens.
Mm-hmm.
And but there is still cooked food included, and I don't believe that our pets should eat anything cooked.
Yep. And fasting is very important for them, especially cats and dogs on there. But yeah, the cats, I know that you and I breached the topic of should cats even really be domesticated, because then we have to kill for them. And killing is definitely not kind. And so, how can that be really justified if we are killing birds, rabbits, and mice for them for the most part? And like you said too, they don't even eat the whole animal in the first place. They just kind of pick and choose. And then, another animal comes along and eats the rest of that carcass, or vultures or something like that. So, nature does have a way of working on its own, but we've already domesticated them. And so at this point now, like, what do we do?
Yeah, I do have to go with what I do is the freeze dried food, and they still get cans because that is what they eat, and that's what they ate before they got here. And yeah, it's with people, you know, if they already had a bad start, they won't live that long. And I have and maybe they actually had a good start because I took in a mom and her two kittens, ferals, very feral cats. Took years before she trusted me. They are 15 and 16 years old now, and they are as healthy as they can be. And they got the same food as other cats got. And you know, I do have to resort to often to the dry food and the canned food. And it doesn't. I found it doesn't really matter how high the quality is. You know, you want to keep the grains out.
Right.
But yeah, we were talking about that with mice eating grains, and grains are in the stomach of mice, and they do eat the mouse. And so they do eat the grain, but that means that grain is already partly digested. So is cooking then a form of, you know, pre-digestion? There's so many things that you have to wonder about, and so we do the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
But Nora Lens has helped a lot and a lot of pet owners, you know, with healing their animals, and it works what she's doing. And it's not the easiest one, with fasting days, with fruit days, with and with meat days, but definitely not what we do now. It's like, you know, 2 times a day we feed them either canned food or dry food, and it's all based on meat. It's even based on, you can, you know, have pork or have what is it? cow, it's crazy.
Yep.
You know, a dog would never eat a cow.
No.
Neither would a cat. And you
Mm-mm.
have actually, that in cat food too.
Yep. It's and every time I open a can anyway, I think it's disgusting. Like I feel so bad that they have to eat it. But
Yeah, it is. And the weird thing is when you have the dry food, it doesn't look like meat anymore. It's
uh-uh.
like, oh my God, we're brainwashing ourselves.
My older cat, she won't even eat any kind of dry food at all. I mean, and her teeth are fine and everything, and she just turned 18 in April. But she's becoming definitely more finicky when it comes to the food. So we just try to do our best with her. Yeah.
Oh, Katie,
Katie
you
has a
have it.
question.
Yeah, I see Katie coming in, and Katie has a
That's
question.
wonderful.
Katie has a question.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, saunas and steam showers.
Yeah, probably shower.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sometimes a little torn between what is really natural. Our sauna is really natural. I mean, if I go out in the Florida heat, I definitely start sweating. Should I still go, in a steam sauna? Yeah, maybe because we're so toxic. So saunas are, yeah, I consider them usable. Okay.
There could also be a dry sauna too. Using them during detox, I would say. But once you're through detox and you're pretty clean, I don't think you would need them as often. And then also too, the steam, is it purified water that they're steaming for you? Meaning, do they take the chlorine out? Do they take all those chemicals out before you're sitting there just gonna start inhaling all of them?
Yeah, but I have like my own,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a little portable steam sauna. I put in distilled water,
Yep, there you go.
and that comes in that little thing. Your head is sticking out, and then water drips off me, and I'm like, okay, now is this the water that is as steam coming into that little tent, or am I actually sweating? I don't have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I would
When
definitely.
I also have an infrared sauna, and I bought that just before Dr. Morse said no good. And we used it twice, and yeah, after 20 minutes, I do start sweating in there. But then it's not healthy, so I haven't used it in 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would definitely, if you can, use distilled water. If you're going to do any kind of steam shower or anything like that, because if you're using just regular old tap water, you're going to be in a toxic steam with all the chlorine. And the more you get away from that kind of stuff, you can really smell the chlorine too. So we have all kinds of like filters and different things on our showers, but I don't have it on our bathtub, and our bathtub's separate. But if I run a bath or anything like that, I have to open a window because I can smell the chlorine in there. Hence, we don't really take baths very often. But yeah, so you definitely don't want to take a steam shower if you have chlorinated water or any other kind of toxins that would then be into the steam that you're sitting there inhaling.
Yeah, the house water line, if there's no filter on the whole system, I would not shower in tap water anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do, and I've been doing this for 6-7 years now. I have this oh my God, what is it called? Sante for Health, SANTE for Health. If you Google that, you go to their website, Sante, I think that is their website too, santeforhealth.com. They have a filter that filters out, of course, the chlorine, but also filters out most of the fluoride. Because I like to take soaking baths, every other day. And I definitely do not want to sit in a fluoridated bath water and soak up the fluoride. I don't need that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that either.
No, so that would and those filters, they last a year. They cost like around $150. And for a whole year, I don't think that is a lot of money. And you know, you owe that to yourself to do that. And that means that then the steam from that water is okay. And you can put that filter, you can put it, I think it's called a KDF filter when you go to Santé for Health.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put it on any shower head. It comes from the line, or the what do you call those things? And then you add the shower head to it, so it should work. It always should work.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a question that was way up, and it's in my mind. So it was about if acidic fruits, if that is actually healthy for us. Yes, they are, because they do leave an alkaline ash, and but it depends on what your issues are. If you have stomach, GI tract issues, you want to be more on the sweeter fruits. You stick with the apples and watermelon, for instance. So it really depends on what you're dealing with health-wise. But no, I cannot say that that acidic fruits are not healthy for us.
Right. And the lemon is actually good for your teeth, against what everybody really says. Now, would I walk around with a lemon stuck in my jaw all day long, sucking on it? No. But, especially like the white part after the lemon is gone, like the fruit of the lemon is gone, you can rub that kind of like on your teeth too. And that, against what everybody thinks, it's actually good for your teeth.
Yeah, absolutely, and it cleans your teeth too.
Mm-hmm.
There is another thing that we need to add to that pet. Yeah, we go from one topic to the other, but that's okay. It's about the pet food. You mentioned use mono foods for the dogs, meaning only one fruit at a time, and same for the meats. Now, what you do is you do a fruit day and a meat day, and you do a fasting day. So that means the whole day, just not, you do fruit in the morning and meat in the evening. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. And that is actually what rotational mono feeding, that is the website, rotationalmonofeeding.com. Mm-hmm. And she has a book, an ebook, and there's a ton of information there. She has a membership. It's a paid membership, but and you can find her also on Facebook. Either you type in Nora Lenz, Lenz, or rotational mono feeding, and you find her, and you can ask questions there. And they have a lot of files there about how to feed your animals. In her ebook, there is a very small section about cats and how to get cats on the raw food. Because I took a cat in, probably it's now, the guy died, and he was going to the hospital, and he said, "Can you have my cat for a few days?" And he never came out, so I had the cat forever. And at first I thought it was kind of a younger cat, but no, he's an old guy, and he only has one of his what do you call those big teeth, those corner
canine.
Yeah, he only has one left.
Oh.
So, and that is what you see with cats on dry food and canned food.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The main reason too, and you don't really want to feed your dog veggies either. They are kind of like us. You want to kind of really stick to the fruit, especially they have been on an American diet, or I guess you should say the standard pet food diet or whatever, because they most likely have mucus buildup just like we do. And the fruit is really the only thing that will go in and hydrate the mucus again and help pull it out of our systems. So that's the same thing with the dogs and us. And that was the one thing I really took from that video that you sent me with her, was that link between us and the dogs of really getting the mucus out.
Yeah, Katie, the name of the ebook in the chat, the rotational mono feeding.
Mhm.
Okay, I cannot talk and type.
Yeah, no problem. Well, there's another question too, which I did see higher up. I was waiting to get to that too, but from JC Razel about how often should we detox within the year? I guess that really depends on how toxic you really are, and depending on what you are gonna continue your lifestyle to be. So if you are going to detox and then remain on fruits, then you may not have the detox again, depending on if you had something to start with. So if you're battling something, then you may have to go into another detox or into something a little bit further, or of course involve herbs. But you can detox, I would say, what, a couple times a year. Do you agree with that, Toni?
Yeah, it's always about how you feel. That's always my my thing. It's like, yeah, I want to do in a few weeks just juices and then go for it. There's no set time like, oh, it's been 3 months now, I should do that again. But we have to realize it takes us years to get all the junk out of our body. So it's never one detox. It's like people feel that, well, in a year, I mean, I should be wherever I want to be. But we all come from a different background in different levels of toxicity. So it's really hard to say. I never expected I would be as toxic as I was, because I've always been a health nut. I always been into, I never was a meat eater. I had my completely vegan years, vegetarian, and then being told I need to eat meat, and I was like, I don't want to eat meat. And then, so there are different levels of toxicity, and the detoxing is off and on till the point where you say, I have balance with my eating. And I think that is the hardest to come to. There's a lot going on now with people that go from years and years on mostly fruit. And now it is, fruit for detox and not sustainable, and now eating meat and dairy and eggs. And even, like, yeah, but it is grass fed. And I think we touched on that last week when I say, well, what about the grass? Is it organic? Has it been
Yeah.
sprayed? What is with it? It's like, no, it's not the right diet, but we need to find a good in between. And that is where I feel that the mucusless diet comes as close as it can be to what we should eat. And I think most people do thrive on that. And you can go back and forth, as much as you like. When you are on high fruit, with a few salads, you're always, yeah, some people say, oh, that is, detox. And but is that a detox? I mean, I think a detox is fasting and juices only, and a water fast maybe, but maybe an up to 36-hour, never longer dry fast. You just go by how you feel. And I know, you probably want answers like, yeah, but how often and when? The thing is, what I found is the best time for me to start a detox was early spring. It was so natural, it's like, yeah, and even in Florida you have colder days. Days where I had the heat on. But then when it started warming up, you feel like the cleaning out. It was the cleaning, for me, it was the cleaning out of everything. The cleaning out of my drawers and cupboards and office and desk and mind and food. And it was just, that was a natural detox. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when I grew up, there was always this, well, yeah, there is even a word for it here, spring cleaning. And maybe that is what we need to do with our bodies too. So you go by how it feels.
Yeah, and it's the beginning of the year. I mean, the first month of our year is April, and I know that they told us it's January, but spring is new beginnings, and this is when you should be starting things too. And of course, it's always, especially in the northern areas, it's always easier to be on fruit when it's warmer.
Yeah, but then when I think about several people that I know about, and they live up north, they have the same access to fruits than what I have here in Florida. You
Correct.
know?
And I meant from like a temperature standpoint. I know a lot of people say they get cold through the winter
Yeah,
on that.
yeah. Well, is it when you are in a room and you have the room temperature set at whatever 68, 70 degrees, and for the Canadians, like between 18 and 20, 22 degrees, what we had in Holland. 18 degrees Celsius was actually in Holland room temperature.
Was it?
I would be freezing now in 18 degrees Celsius. I wear sweaters and God knows how many layers. But it's like, why would you need warm food because you are in a colder area?
Mm-hmm.
It's but I cannot really, yeah. Here in Florida, it in the wintertime it can get around freezing, and my fruit was still great. But yeah, I do drink hot tea. I love the hot tea. So, but it doesn't mean that then because you're in a colder area, you need hot cooked food. And we have touched on that, well, with warming up your food without cooking it and still keeping it raw. So that can be done if you need something warm.
Yeah, you can.
And yeah, Gita, I know your your head is spinning. My head has been spinning most of my life, with going from one diet to the other, to a point that my darling daughter told me I had an issue. I had a big issue. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm just figuring out what we are meant to eat, what works, what gives us the health that we need. And it's not everything in moderation. I mean, even I would not consider eating junk food in moderation as a healthy diet. And because when I talk with people, my first question always is, what is your diet? And yeah, but I have a healthy diet. I eat grains and yeah, and there's some people would say, yeah, that is healthy, but now we know it's not. And yeah, it is confusing. You're absolutely right. If I think back on everything and had to learn so many things and unlearn so many things, it is like and come to a conclusion that we need to keep it simple, and how fruit is really meant for us. And if people want me to dig in by even on one-on-one calls, why it is that is actually the one and only fruit, or the only food that is meant for us, I'll do it, because and I'll explain even more, and what all the other foods is doing to us, and why are we all as sick as we are, because nobody is healthy. I hear people telling me, well, no, I'm as healthy as can be. And like, okay, I'm very healthy, but then they have high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol, they're easily tired, they have muscle problems, they have weight problems,
Ringing
underweight,
in the
overweight.
ears.
I'm sorry?
Ringing in the ears.
Yeah, for instance, so many things, forgetfulness, but I'm healthy. I did it my whole life, saying how healthy I was. I didn't even have a gallbladder anymore. I had been even in my early 20s, woke up paralyzed from the neck down, with all strange bumps on my legs and on my arms. And I had the weirdest things. And it was, now I know it was all caused by the changes in diet that I did, stuff that I wasn't supposed to eat, when my body already said, no, this is not working. And one simple example is, they, from 6 months old until I was 12 years, all these, ear infections, twice a year, both ears, inner ear infection, very, very painful. It's painful for an adult. Well, it's definitely painful for the child too. And always the antibiotics, because that should clear it up. Well, 6 months later, I had it again. So I was thinking back, and I was like, okay, with 6 months, they start you on cow's milk. And I hated milk. I hated milk with a passion. And at 12 years old, they could not make me drink milk anymore. And my ear infection stopped. Never had it again. Yeah, one time when I was in my 20s, one time for a day, and it was gone fast. And I think it was because I did have dairy. But ice cream makes from cow's milk. So it's always the food is related, and then you come to a point that you learn all the foods that are not good for you, and then what is left? It's never fruit. It's never the fruit that will give you all kinds of problems. It's not the fruit. The fruit never killed anyone.
Mm-mm. Fruit is easily digestible for us, and it gives us the energy and the hydration that we need for our body to then, it's almost like our body just sees the fruit coming and they're like, oh, wonderful, great, here's some more energy. Okay, let it just keep on going through. Okay, let's continue to work on healing the body now. Whereas when you're eating meats and more heavier types of foods, your body's having to stop all the healing process and be like, okay, we all got to focus on getting this stuff out of here and grinding it up. And it's going to take us 3 days and 3 nights to get rid of this meat. And then by the time it even gets rid of that, you've already had 2 more days worth of it. So then your body is constantly just working on digestion. So with the fruit, it's just your body's like, wonderful, great. We can continue to work on the body. We don't have to worry about that fruit.
Exactly. Grant, you mentioned that you are down to 130 pounds. Is that an issue for you? Is that something that you worry about?
Mm-hmm.
I see that with my husband, and he was very slender to begin with, and he went down from 150 to 120 pounds in the last 5 years. But he has the energy as if he was 30 years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was getting to Grant's other question about the holding the iPhone and the way you look at it and your hands kind of going numb and tingling. I think a lot of people are starting to suffer from maybe pinched nerve areas in their neck and stuff like that, which do run down your arm from the way that everybody's kind of looking down and holding their phone now. And so you kind of get that little tingly type feeling in your pinky finger, sometimes your ring finger, because that nerve does run down from your neck, down through your shoulder to your elbow, and then comes out around your pinky area, if that's kind of what you're talking about. But as I know too, that can also be stagnated lymph in your neck and in your shoulder area. So definitely, I always like to recommend, if you can find a good person that knows how to do lymphatic massage, maybe can kind of get in there and do that, but also, some gentle stretching and stuff so that you're not getting that compressed disc nerve area. At least that's been my experience. Anything on that with you?
No, well, I have arthritis in my hand, so it's I don't even notice the difference. Holding a phone half the day. But I have it. I have I have an iPhone 13 now, and I have it in a little what is it, cover. It's not only a back cover but a top cover too, and it blocks the EMF.
Okay. Yep.
So these are a little bit more expensive than the other ones, but I do feel it helps me, and sometimes I just put it on my hands instead of holding it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's pretty much the difference. But I've had before that, I had an SE. Oh my God, that thing was 6 years old. And that was a tiny, tiny phone, and that did bother my hands.
Yeah.
While it was lighter than this one. So it whatever cover you have, I have a cover that I can put it down, I can put it sideways. So it's but it needs to be, it has a back and a front cover. I think these things are around $45, but I feel they're well worth it.
Absolutely. There's another question that I'd like for you to answer, Toni. It's from JC Razel. She says, I use Dr. Morse herbs and I thought I was detoxing too much because I take the herbs all throughout the year.
You actually only take herbs for a few months and then you stop because, we are so used to pharmaceuticals where they tell you right away you have to use it for the rest of your life. And then with the supplements, because you heard me say I was, like the queen of supplements. I was like, if I don't take them, I'm going to die. I wasn't getting any better with it anyway. And when I stopped it, I didn't even notice a difference. Yeah, probably for the better. But don't use it as a supplement. Your diet is, your body is healing because you leave all the junk food out. Now, if you eat junk food and you hope that taking the herbs offsets it, that's not how it works. I wish that is, but that's not the case. So it is the food that you're taking in. And you use, we have like protocols for 14 weeks, and you do that for 14 weeks, and then you stop. You stop for at least 3 months, and then, look at where you are at that moment compared to where you were like 3 months and 6 months before that. And that is why I always suggest write things down. I mean, this is a serious thing. If you start detoxing, it's not something that you do like, oh yeah, we do that 3 days or even 30 days juice fast, and then I'm good to go. But write down where you are at. And I have these health questionnaires, and they are actually like self-assessment forms. I can actually put them up and download them, and I'll put them in the show notes. Download them, print them out, fill it out. Fill it out. You don't have to share it with me unless you feel that you do want to talk about it, you do want to go over it, but fill it out and put a date on it and see where you are at. And then do the same thing after 3 months. What has changed? What of your symptoms have changed? Do you still have, brain fog, headaches, pain in lower back, kidneys? What has changed? And then if you had your 3 months of the herbal protocol, and then 3 months of nothing, then so then you are in this for 6 months. Fill that form out again, put a date on it. And this is how you keep track about things that have changed. Because I hear people that after a year complaining nothing has changed. And then we go over the health questionnaire they started out with. And I ask the question, do you still have the, oh no, that was gone in a few weeks. So it's easy to even see the improvements that you made. If you don't write it down, you forget about it. If things go well, then you even forgot you had a certain problem, but maybe other problems came up. So I feel that when you take this seriously, you really should do this. You really should keep track of it. I'll put the link in right away, because I even took a special domain for this health questionnaire. If I can type.
Yeah, that's very important to track kind of like where you started from and whatnot. While you're typing that, Katie did have where she is watching a baby, and they do have the baby on oatmeal. Dr. Morris did just have a new video come out that's all about baby formula and what we should be feeding our babies and whatnot. I don't know how close you are to those people or how open they are, but definitely always tread lightly and always kind of spoon feed people when you are doing that, because even though the baby's constipated now, if you all of a sudden start giving them too much fruit, then they might, blame you for now the baby has diarrhea, that kind of stuff. So yes, does everything need to come out what they are giving the baby? Absolutely. But when babies are very small, as we all know, they can dehydrate really easily. So it's definitely something that you would want to get the parents on board and, kind of go slow with it, and, maybe share that video with them if that's something you feel comfortable enough. But I would hate for them to be like, no, we're not into all that. And then maybe they don't want you watching the baby anymore either, because you could probably, or most definitely, bring some very good positive influence on their life and the baby, I'm sure.
Yeah, that is, we always have to be careful what we say and advice that we give, and just, plant a seed, and show people that, or find something online about what oatmeal can do. I mean, if there is a change with babies, kids, adults, always look at what have you been eating and what is changing, what is it doing. Lydia asked, how long should we take the herbs for? I wouldn't take them longer than 3.5 months. That's it. That's why we have those protocols for like 14 weeks. That touches everything, all your glands and your GI tract. Clean up your GI tract, and then stop, and then see, don't use the herbs for at least 3 months, and then see how you're doing, where you are at. Do you feel that you haven't healed what you wanted to heal? Then, and even with your diet, because think remember this, and this is really, really important. Diet always comes first. It's not your herbs. It's not, like, oh, I keep eating what I've been eating and I take the herbs. Don't waste your money. I mean, it goes hand in hand. Change the diet first, and go on the mucusless foods list. We've discussed that quite a few times, and I can put up a link here again. Follow that as much as you can. And it gives you also options to what do you eat when you're transitioning to more fruit, and what can you eat as a maintenance diet, and it's still healthy, and you can still eat out once in a while. And but with the herbs, they help. If you have kidneys not cooperating, or it doesn't go fast enough, or your lymph needs to be moving more, then yeah, the herbs definitely help. But it's not the heal all thing, although we have a heal all tea. But it is the food that you put in, and keep track of how you feel, what it is doing, but never do it longer than 3.5 months.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's with everything. I mean, I know people use celery is considered an herb. I believe garlic is garlic an herb?
Yeah, garlic, it's like we should treat it as a medicine,
Yeah.
not as food.
Yep. And it's in everything. So I mean, like, we're definitely being over sensitized or whatever. I don't know the word on garlic. And then I know a lot of people do what's it called? Not marijuana, but the oil, CBD oil. From what I read and heard, all it is basically a pain blocker. There's definitely different terminology for that, but it just kind of makes the pain go away. It doesn't necessarily help heal it. So that would be something else. But marijuana is definitely an herb. So whether you're using it for what you could be using it, I would never say to smoke it, because we should never be inhaling any kind of smoke. But keep in mind that that's an herb too. I mean, there would be something you would want to use with that 3.5 month time frame, not something you should be on all the time.
Absolutely. And I see a question about, outside of eating salt, what are some of the reasons for retaining water in the body? It's your kidneys.
Mhm.
It's I have that issues. I've had kidney issues for 50 years. At least that is 50 years ago. I became aware of it during an iridology reading, but nobody told me what to do. So as of today, I still have kidney issues. And I do have edema in one leg, and it is the weaker leg. And this tells me that on the right side, my kidneys are not functioning as well as they could. So it's always looking at the kidneys. Water pills is not helping. It's
Oh, where's the water going to go if your kidneys aren't going to filter
yeah,
it out or even let
yeah.
it pass out?
It's there is and I would suggest anyone here, because if you have questions, go to the website I'm going to put in right now. And oops, I'm not doing this correctly. Okay, that is raw fix rawfix.com.
This
is a website where you put in the search option and choose Dr. Morse videos. Best is to put in one word search. And then you have the Dr. Morse video clips specifically for that search word. Now, I found it's no longer working on my mobile phones. So it works best. The videos do play when laptop or your computer. So be aware of that. It has Dr. Morse answering your questions. So, because I'm sure you always have a ton of questions that come up. How does this work? What is this? And you heard about a person who has some issues and you want to help. Check there. There are so many answers, and I have my own well, you know about that, my own Dr. Morse videos. I had a year or 2 years ago somebody helping me with taking all the videos apart and then upload them topic by topic. So there is a lot of information there too about a variety of symptoms that you can find on my own channel. Okay, Lydia, what if your symptoms still haven't gone away while taking the herb? Should you stop taking them? I thought you were supposed to take the herbs until your symptoms stop. No, not necessarily. If you keep having your symptoms, then we need to talk. We need to figure out what is there in your diet that is not helping you. And it can be little things. It can be something that you're not even aware of, that it is holding you back, that it is not healing. And then if you look at the, and really, I suggest everybody download that health questionnaire and as a self-assessment. And in front of all the questions, you see what it is related to. Is it the adrenals? Is it the pineal gland? Is it the kidneys, the liver, the whatever? You can see what it is related to. And that will help you out a lot also. So then it is like, okay, I'm not healing. What am I doing wrong? For me, it is anything with fat or proteins, it stops my healing, and it sets me back. Well, I always say it's okay if you take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, you're still moving 1 forward. Well, with me, it is then, 1 step forward and I go 3 steps back if I eat the wrong foods. And for me, fats in avocados or proteins and seeds. For somebody else, there may be apple cider vinegar in their dressing, or there may be some oil in it. And your body, when you are on high fruit, your body gets more sensitive. And they say that fruit brings out the problem areas. But Lydia, go over the health questionnaire, get in touch with me, and we go over your diet and see if we can get to the bottom of why you're not having the results that you want to have.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, you need to take the time that your body needs to heal. You can't rush it. It took this many years for you to become as sick or toxic as you are, and it's going to take time for your body to heal. There is no overnight magic pill. There's nothing like that. Herbs can speed it, but your body still needs to be the one that actually heals it.
It is in your mind. Don't forget that. If you are a worry rat and it's like, oh my gosh, and what is this and what is that, and I'm not healing and I have so much pain, and it's like, it's not helping you. It makes things worse. When you look at everything, it's like, oh my gosh, you should be healing. I've been through that. I've had that. I could, sit on the side of my bed and putting my feet down, and I was like, oh my God, it's even worse than it was yesterday. Yeah. And I was like, Toni, are you crazy? This is not helping you. I had to get out of that mindset. And I have to say that if I stick to 100% fruit, I don't have these thoughts. I really do not have these. As soon as I have the nerve to eat something that I shouldn't, they're right back.
It's amazing how it even cares for our thoughts too. And don't forget, take the load off Fanny. Cast your net to the right, as Charlie always says.
Yeah.
Put it on God. Let God carry you in the time that you need to be carried. And that is okay. Move forward with being virtuous and, always be kind and do what you have.
Love yourself, and enjoy your life and do things that you enjoy. Life should be enjoyable and so that you can be an enjoyment even for other people. Smile to other people, make their day, smile to yourself in a mirror, go out bare feet in the sand.
You might be the only light that shines for them that day. And the repercussions of kindness is amazing, and we need that more in the world now than ever.
We do, because there are a lot of people that will need us, not just me, but every one of you, how we are, how we look at life, what we know, and share. Yeah. And it's not always easy to share because people do not want to listen, but plant a seed. We know what the effect is, and they may look into it, and they may get to a point that they feel, okay, enough is enough. I had to reach that point, enough is enough. It's like, you do this. We are going to do this. We are going to get healthier and enjoy life. Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, this is neat. It is 1:11.
Yeah, I just saw that myself. Oh, yeah. Well, Lydia, definitely, maybe call in next week or whatever, and we'll definitely go through it all. But, just take the time you need. And when you're having any dizzy spells, especially, be very careful and be aware of things and sit down when you need to. And I know you can always reach out, healthywithfruit@gmail.com. And send your questions and stuff like that there too, and then maybe they can be looked at more intensely.
Yeah. And well, we're gonna the end of the show, the end of our podcast. We're over an hour again, and we can keep talking for the rest of the afternoon.
Oh yeah, I could go all day long talking,
but we won't.
No, we will not.
So it is beautiful, everyone. I love you, and I'm happy, that everybody is here, and invite some more people. We're having fun here. We enjoy this.
Absolutely, and
I'm always looking forward to it. And the week always goes fast. It's like, oh my gosh, it's Thursday again.
Yep, that's very true. Yeah. Yes, and thank you all so much. We love seeing you on the chat, and everybody needs to kind of be the light and be the example. So let's all pull together, and when we're all together, we can shine the brightest.
We can, and I do hope to hear ideas for the new health platform or community. It's a community. So yeah, so thank you everyone. Till the next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.